The more I follow and watch international media house covering the situation in Congo, especially the Eastern Congo, the more I cry for Congo. And as an African, if you think that the situation or what they are doing in Congo does not affect you, my brother and sister, then you are in big trouble, because today it could be Congo, tomorrow it might be your country. Anyway, back to the story. So I was watching this discussion on Al Jazeera. I couldn't skip it. So the title was "How Will Congo Defeat the Rebels in the East?" And now this British-born journalist for Al Jazeera based in Doha was the host, and clearly he was not interested in the truth. And he had three guests. One of them was a Congolese man who lives in London. He had two Rwandans, one living in Kigali and another one living in the Netherlands. And the discussion was now about M23. So this Congolese man tried to tell them the whole truth, the whole history about M23. But the discussion quickly got uncomfortable for the other guest and the host, because he started off saying that Rwanda was enjoying protection from Britain, which we have always known. And we have seen this when Rwanda returns favors. For example, they have agreed to allow illegal or unwanted African immigrants in Britain who are being deported to Rwanda. So this shows the relationship between the two. And recently, Rwanda hosted the Commonwealth, meeting, the CHOGM 2022. And Rwanda was not colonized by Britain, but they joined, and they are more powerful than some countries like Nigeria that have been part of Commonwealth. Now, that is a discussion for another day. But these people got so uncomfortable.
Thank you so much, Robert. I think this is a very necessary case for us to mention. It's a very tragic, difficult time for us Congolese people. We've been so kind and they welcome foreigner in our country. The Rwandese, we welcome them, and we got a massive and a big majority of Rwandese citizens who are really unwilling to go back to Rwanda. They live in Congo, where they find a peaceful place to stay. We welcome generation of them. And what is happening now, the Rwandese government, especially Paul Kagame, is using the British influence, the Commonwealth influence, because they're a member of the British Army. Now they train their people in the United Kingdom. They are using those people now to kill ordinary citizens in Congo. Speaking now, more than 40,000 people have displaced from their house. They're going to neighbor country, or some people live in the forest at the moment. Young people can't go to school. We see criminal movement growing up by a small group of people call themselves M23. The Rwandese government, fully supported by Paul Kagame and the Rwandese army, they've been in the center of the court killing ordinary Congolese people. It's got much stable political movement at the moment,
okay,
which is my country.
Tongo, but let me just stop you there and allow our guest in Kigali, Gatete Naringabo, to come in there. You've heard what our guest in London has said, that this is all inspired and supported by the British, and it's all Paul Kagame's fault. How do you respond?
They are not Rwandans. They speak in Rwanda, they may look Rwandan, but they are Congolese. Okay. Now, this amalgam of saying that we welcomed refugees, these people were there much, much earlier. They were as early as any other indigenous community in that eastern part of the DRC. And they're fighting today because their community has struggled to be accepted by the likes of my colleague who's speaking now and calling them refugees. That's why their families have fled, and they have lived in refugee camps in Rwanda and Uganda for 3 decades now.
So the Congolese man had every right to be agitated. One, because this guy from Kigali, Gatete, who calls himself a human rights lawyer, though on his profile he says he's a retired human rights lawyer, turned out to attack him, and he was trying to twist the truth. And this host from Al Jazeera also was not interested in the truth, and that's why it was painful to watch. So I got curious and had to look up this guy, Gatete Naringabo, and in the search results, I quickly found more than 20 articles that he has authored attacking the Congolese government, verifying the Congolese president, and in others, justifying the M23 killings. I went to his social media accounts and found a man who is a sycophant of the Rwandan president, Paul Kagame, and a known propagandist. He's not even a lawyer. So this is the same person that Al Jazeera found worth to invite to this interview. Now you understand why our Congolese man was upset.
speaking international. This is Al Jazeera. A million people are listening.
Well, indeed, and of course, you know, you have your point of view, sir. So does our guest in Rwanda. Let me bring in Gatete.
Story to say things like this.
Let's bring on our Rwandan guest.
I have to finish my point. Don't interrupt me. I didn't interrupt you. I'm sorry. It's a very serious comment you made in international television about misleading people with statement you know you don't have evidence of that. Okay? You're going to go back to the history. We welcome Rwandese people as a refugee. Your country been a stable nation for years. You're killing yourself. We got history of genocide in your country. We see people not like each other. You're hating each other. And the Congo, we welcome you. We accepted you. That's a place you live as a safe haven. Now you are using this as an excuse by killing Congolese people in your return because you have a support from United Kingdom.
So our British presenter on Al Jazeera clearly had an agenda before the discussion, and you can see they are discussing about Congo and M23, but he's bringing on two guys from Rwanda, which is the country being accused of attacking Congo, and one Congolese, even though we have millions of Congolese who can speak English and can appear on such discussions, and they are not allowing the Congolese to really talk or speak the truth. So you can see this is something that was a setup, and it was painful to see. It is happening on international media against Congo, basically. And unfortunately, most people will believe this narrative by international media house. Most people will believe what Al Jazeera and CNN and BBC tells them about Congo. No one will listen to the Congolese side of the story. No one will believe Congolese people. And that's how it has always been, Today it's Congo, tomorrow it could be Ethiopia or Tanzania. But that's how it has always been. They use our own people to fight us. They use our own people to steal minerals from us by killing us and then take those minerals to them. It has always been like that. That's how slaves were sold. No single European set foot on the African continent to pursue people. They waited in their ships, and our people captured us, took us to those ships, and we were sold as slaves. That's the sad story about Africa.